Stampers, welcome to the craft room and another episode of card play, although as you can see this is not a card. Today I'm going to show you how to make this beautiful ornament, and we're going to also learn how to make these great paper rosettes. So let's get started. First, to make the rosette, what you are going to need is a strip of designer series paper. This is 12 inches by 1.5 inches, and this is from the Neutrals stack collection, so it has a different design on either side. I happen to like this one. We're also going to take the scallop edge punch, and what we're going to do is punch the entire length of this 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. So punch and then slide it down, line it up, punch again, and we're going to do that to the entire strip of paper. I happen to have one here that I've completed. So the next thing we're going to need to do is actually score this strip of paper, and we're going to do that scoring at each one of these scallops. To do this, you can use a bone folder. You can also use any kind of scoring board that you have. I happen to have a board called a Score It, and this is what I like to use. So you're just going to take the paper and line it up, and you're going to put that metal piece right on one of those scallops, and you're just going to pull and crease. And you're just going to again go and do this all the way down. And again, I've gone ahead and completed one of these with all of the score lines in the interest of time. So now what we're going to do is we're going to accordion fold. So we're going to fold one of these down and then up, down, up, and you're going to go the entire way, just like that, and give it a nice good squeeze or press. The next thing we're going to need to do is join these edges. I'm going to go ahead and just cut off this little extra piece since we're not going to need that little extra piece. So let me just cut that off to give us a nice clean edge. And then what we're going to do is we're going to take a piece of sticky strip and just put it on the opposite side of the side that you want, and we're just going to stick those ends together. And then we're going to pull that red film off and go ahead and just adhere these last two scallops to one another and give it a nice good press. So now we've got kind of a circle, I guess. And the easiest way I have found to adhere this is using my glue gun, so using some hot glue. And this is going to feel a little bit weird. You've got to kind of flatten this out, which can be a little bit trying the first few times around, or even the second or third as you're watching me. And you're going to want to just kind of press it down. And what I'm going to do is just put some hot glue right in the center and then just let it cool a little bit so that it sticks. So let's see if I can maneuver that. It's going to be hard for me to do this and have you see at the same time. So I'm just putting a dollop of hot glue in the middle. Don't worry how big your dollop is, because it will have an opportunity to get covered up a little bit later in this project. But just so you see, and sometimes I actually do find it helpful to let it open up a little bit and then push back down. I think it helps cool that hot glue a little bit more quickly. So we're going to hold this until it cools. So now I'm going to just put a little bit of hot glue on this back side, and we're going to go ahead and let that dry. Now that that's nice and dry, we're going to go ahead and we're going to glitter this rosette. And to do that, we're going to use the new champagne glass glitter. I love this glitter, so pretty. And we're also going to use Crystal Effects as our adhesive. You can use Tombow Mono Multi-Glue as well. I kind of like using the Crystal Effects just because it has a really nice easy applicator tip. And we're just going to go around each of these scallops very lightly with our Crystal Effects. And what I like is you can get really down into the creases with this applicator tip. Okay, and once you've gone ahead and gotten your Crystal Effects on each of the scallops, we're going to go ahead and take a piece of scrap paper, and you can pick these up by the little creases, and we're going to go ahead and be very generous with our glitter. Don't worry, we can pour this all back into the container when we're done. If you have a little powder tray, you can do this in there as well. And then you're just going to go ahead and tap all of that glitter off of there. So tap, 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 get all of that extra off. and you're going to have a really nice glittered edge. So let's set that aside. So I've set that aside to give it a little bit of a chance to dry, and what I'd like to do is work on the background piece, so this background piece for the ornament, and let's see how I did that. The first thing you're going to need is a 4" by 4" coaster or piece of chipboard cut to 4x4. I got these chipboard coasters that are white online, so they're easy to find. You're also going to need 2 4x4" pieces of very vanilla cardstock, and we're going to adhere these pieces to the chipboard. Again, you can use Tombow Mono Multi Glue. I like to use a little bit of Mod Podge for this, and just a really easy foam brush. So we're just going to brush a very thin layer of the Mod Podge onto the coaster, and you're going to do this onto the back side as well, and just give it a nice good push. I've got one here that I did a little bit earlier that's already dry, so we're going to work from this one. To decorate this coaster, we're actually going to take the En Francais background stamp, and we're going to take our Versamark ink, and we're just going to ink that up really well. And then we're going to just take the coaster and we're just going to press it and give it a really nice good press, some good pressure to make sure you don't miss any spots. And then we're just going to lift that up. Really, really hard to see right now since that is Versamark. It is clear ink. And we're going to take care of that very quickly because we're going to take our Stampin' Pastels, and there are 2 colors that we're going to work with for this Poppin' Pastels technique. We're going to work with this Pretty in Pink color and also this Perfect Plum color. So I've got 2 sponge daubers here, and all you're going to do is pick up some of your chalk and you're just going to tamp it or pounce right onto that Versamark ink, and you'll see that the color and the words start to appear, and you're just going to do this until you're satisfied with how it looks. And again, in the interest of time, I went ahead and completed one of these for us, and you'll see that I've done it on both the front and the back side. So now we're going to take the Circle Scallops number 2 original Big's die for the big shot, and we're actually going to use this larger scallop, and I'm going to go ahead and run this through the big shot. Be right back. So I ran that through the big shot. We're just going to go ahead and pop that out, and now we have the base of our ornament. The next thing that we're going to do before we go any further is we want to make sure that we put in an eyelet at the top so that our ribbon is going to be able to fit through. So to do that, we're going to take our Crop-A-Dile and figure out about where we want the top of our ornament to be. And I'm going to use the bigger hole on the Crop-A-Dile and just come right in here, and we're going to make a nice hole at the top of this ornament. We're going to take one of our jumbo eyelets. These are antique brass, and we're just going to push that through that hole. Need a little muscle, just like so. And then we're going to use the proper setting on our Crop-A-Dile to just go ahead and squeeze that down so that it's not going anywhere. So now we have the base. The last thing we want to do to the base is add some glass glitter. So we're going to repeat the process we used for our paper rosette, and we're just going to put some crystal effects all around the edge, and then go ahead and put our glitter. This time I'm actually going to use the silver glass glitter, and again, pour it like crazy. And sometimes if you just give it a little push, that helps too to tamp the glitter down. And then we're going to lift that and tap it off. And it looks like we just missed a little bit there, so I'm just going to go in and give that a tiny bit more crystal effects.